Skymaster Panther ready to fly. Programming's all done, all my tweaking is done, and this is basically how I have it set up. Of course, the elevator and rudder are pretty standard. Ailerons are pretty standard. The landing flaps on takeoff setting, that's takeoff setting, and then for landing, the body flaps come out. So I'll repeat that. That's takeoff setting, and then you can see the body flaps come out. They stick down pretty far, so I think they're going to be pretty effective. Here again, landing, takeoff, flying. The gear is on a sequencer for power box. Of course, the front doors stay open for landing. Main gear doors are closed. The canopy is interesting. The canopy, when the wheels are down, the canopy is open. This is what they did for carrier operations. And when the wheels come up, the canopy closes. So here goes the sequence. So there the canopy's closed for flight. Everything's tucked up. I'll put them down to repeat that. Doors open, wheels come down, canopy opens. So programming it this way saved having to add one set of another air valve for the canopy. And it duplicates what they did in the real scale world, so I'm going to leave it that way. It's a very nice looking plane. I'm really anxious to maiden it, which will be soon, I hope. And then I'll provide more videos. Okay, this is a view from the front. Maybe you can see the flap actuation a little better. The wheels up. And the flap, that's the landing flap. I'm sorry, landing flap. Takeoff flap, landing. Takeoff, landing. It ought to be very effective. I probably have too much in there for the maiden flight. I might back it off a little. Landing configuration. I also have it programmed that when the landing gear is up, that the front steering servo just stays at neutral. I have to say, this certainly is a beautiful plane. I mean, Skymaster did an outstanding job finishing this plane. And I added most of the enhancements that BVM came out with. They were definitely needed, especially the landing gear, and actually they all were. The landing gear, and they provided some really good technical help with the plane. I have to say, this is probably one of the best looking planes I've ever owned. I have had other Panthers, but this one, the paint scheme on this really shines. And I think it's going to be very, very highly visible in the air. Incidentally, the stand that's on is a BVM F100 stand, just modified to hold various planes. It holds, I have 2 or 3 other planes that holds them just fine at the field. I don't have my pilot figure in there yet, but that's coming. I'll do a lot of that after the maiden. There again, really a good looking plane. If it flies as good as it looks, it'll be a winner. Maiden should be soon, as soon as the weather gets a little better here. Looking good. Just a couple more details. This is my my modified front accessory tray. Everything is up here, believe me, everything. The top right quadrant is the turbine support group. That's your the UAT, the pump, the valves, and ECU. Over here's the receiver group with power box. Of course, the batteries are up front. The receiver. Being a Futaba fan, I like the Futaba system. There's only 2 antennas, and I got the accessory Roby extra length antennas so they can go back in the fuselage and come out both sides a tiny bit. My air system is entirely on the bottom. I'm using the Jetec electronic air valves and sequencer, and you know, for that way I don't have any servos or linkages and all that. It's very neat under there. Just a quick shot of the turbine compartment. I used the full bypass supplied by Skymaster, and of course they also supplied the thrust tube and the very nice spun aluminum adapter. It all fit in there great with a minimal of fuss, and I tested it. The motor starts fine, runs up to full RPM fine, doesn't overheat. So obviously the air intakes and all are good. This is a 160 size turbine, and fits in there just great. The cockpit is really nice. I have a pilot to go in there, I just haven't put him in yet. The detail work is just great. I don't have many planes with scale cockpits in them, but this certainly adds to the realism. Overall, a really nice plane. Looking forward to maidening it, which should be within a week.